All right. Hello. Can everyone hear me? Perfect. Well, good afternoon. My name is Geneva, and I'm with the Levy Senior Center Foundation. We are happy to welcome both our in-person and remote audiences to today's Levy lecture, Momma Kemba Portrays Ida B. Wells. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce our presenter for those who may not be familiar with her or her work. Momma Kemba travels the U.S. and abroad, keeping the spirit of strong Black women in American history alive through dramatic storytelling and song. Extensive research is evident in each of her presentations, often described as spiritual, riveting, dynamic, fine-tuned, motivational, inspirational, and educational. The stories of Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune, Sojourner Truth, Ida B. Wells, and Aunt Clara Brown and Fannie Lou Hamer are done in full costume. Kemba conducts workshops that demonstrate teaching and learning through drama and storytelling. This Levy lecture is made possible by the Levy Senior Center Foundation and the City of Evanston. As always, we appreciate your support of the foundation as we continue to work to connect our community of older adults. This month, as we celebrated Juneteenth, we recognize the importance of honoring Black individuals and their contributions to history. Ida B. Wells is a prime example. One of Chicago's most famous historical figures, Ida B. Wells, a formerly enslaved woman, fought for women's suffrage, was an anti-lynching activist, an early civil rights movement leader, and a founder of the NAACP. After the presentation, we will have a question and answer session. Please hold any questions you have until that time. Now, I'd like to welcome Ida B. Wells.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. This truth goes marching on from the beauty of our homeland. We were brought across the sea, stripped of heritage and honor, but not of our dignity. Now we fight a ceaseless battle, for we shall be free. Our fight goes marching on. Come on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Our fight goes marching on. Ida Bell Wells Barnett, was born July 16th, 1862. In our small Holly Spring, Mississippi town, my mother, Lizzie Wells, a noted cook, made sure her children understood discipline and the need for education. Our job was to learn all we could. As the acknowledged son of the white slaveholder, my father, James Wells, was afforded an apprenticeship in the carpentry trade. He was a man who refused intimidation. With the ratification of the 15th Amendment in 1870, Black man was given the vote. His refusal of entreaties to sell his newly won privilege cost him his job. Without hesitation or regret, he went into business for himself. A lesson not lost on me. My parents held high ideals and believed in the sanctity of family life. They and many others renewed their vows officially after the Emancipation Proclamation. While away visiting my grandmother home, a yellow fever epidemic raged through our Mississippi Valley. The disease consumed both my parents within 24 hours. My 9-month-old baby brother Stanley died also. I was devastated. Those clouds may hover o'er us. There's a bright and golden ray. It's the promise that in heaven God shall wipe all tears away. No more weeping, no more wailing. Peace and joy shall hold full sway. For beside life's crystal fountain, God shall wipe all tears away. When we reach that blessed homeland, which is everlasting day, on that bright eternal morning, God shall wipe all tears away. Friends offered to take my younger brothers and sisters separately. My crippled sister Eugenia would be placed in the poorhouse. Such arrangements were totally unacceptable to me. Why, my parents would turn over in their graves. Barely 16, I falsified my credentials to obtain a teaching position. For 2 years, I rode a mule 6 miles to that rural Mississippi school, returning on weekends to care for my brothers and sisters. His welfare is my concern, no burden is he to bear. We'll get there. And I know he would not encumber me. He ain't heavy, oh no, he's my brother. So on we go. When my grandmother, who was assisting with the children, became ill, we moved to Tennessee. Still teaching, I attended Fisk University and began writing under the pen name Iola. Upon boarding the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad at the tender age of 21, I took a seat in the ladies' coach, concerning myself with the restraint I must master in regards to the fine lace, velvet, and satin fashions of the day. There were numerous social functions to attend and several young gentlemen who aspired to be my escort. The conductor requested I adjourn to the smoker's car, where workmen sat, and which was generally filled with bothersome cigar and cigarette smoke. I declined. He attempted to forcibly remove me. I grabbed and held tightly to the railings. When he attempted to remove my hands, I sank my teeth into his. He went for help. He and two accomplices literally drugged me from the car. Rather than be seated in the smoker's car, I left the train. I wrote my first newspaper article and brought the first racial discrimination suit against the railroad and won. When the Memphis newspaper reported the incidents, they, in huge letters, referred to me as a darky damsel. 3 years later, the decision was completely reversed. My limited faith in the judicial system was completely shorn. I was soon fired from my teaching job for revealing the inadequate, insufficient facilities provided for Black children by the Memphis school system. I became co-owner of the Memphis Free Speech News. In 1892, lynching was the law of the land, used as a tool to neutralize the growing Black political and economic power that threatened the status quo. In 1867, under the leadership of Nathan Bedford Forrest, former slave trader and Confederate general, the Ku Klux Klan, ma'am, had been born. Racial violence was committed under the guise that Africans, having been freed from the civilizing constraints of slavery, were committing heinous crimes. My dear friends, Calvin McDowell, Henry Stewart, and Thomas Malls, whose wife Betty was with child, opened the People's Grocery Store, offering good prices and friendly service. The nearby white grocer resented this new business. After all, Africans were supposed to provide cheap labor, not become businessmen. A mob descended upon the store with destruction as its purpose. The Tennessee Rifles, a local Black Guard unit, was in place. 3 in the mob were wounded. Over 100 Black men were arrested. The store was looted and burned to the ground. Later, the mob stormed the jailhouse, dragged my 3 friends out, and lynched them. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? And were you there when they hung them from a tree? Were you there when they hung them from a tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they hung them from a tree? I wanted to gather my race in my arms and fly away with them. Is there no peace, no redress, no justice in this land for us? And I wrote, We are vulnerable to the whims of white lawlessness as we are outnumbered and without arms. The city of Memphis has demonstrated that neither character nor standing avails the Negro if he dares protect himself against the white man or become his rival. There is only one thing left for us to do: save our money and leave a town that will neither protect our lives or property or give us a fair trial in the courts, but takes us out and murders us in cold blood. Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they hung them from a tree? We had been stripped of economic and political power, people without a country. I had had enough, and I wrote, "Let the African depend on no party but on himself for his salvation. Let him continue on to education, charter, and above all, put money in his purse." Many blacks took my advice, leaving Memphis in droves, by train, by car, by foot. Those who stayed stopped shopping at white-owned businesses or riding their streetcars. The Memphis newspaper, who had 6 weeks earlier proudly announced the murder of my 3 friends, tried to discourage this exodus. The white business people began to panic. The streetcar managers had the cheek to request that I encourage my people to ride their cars again in a pig's eye. As co-owner of the Memphis Free Speech News, I launched the first anti-lynching crusade in this country. I penned this petition to President McKinley. In the past 20 years, lynching crimes have been committed and permitted by this Christian nation. Nowhere in the civilized world, save the United States of America, do men possessing all civil and political power go out in bands of 50 to 5,000 to hunt down, shoot, hang, burn alive a single individual, unarmed and completely powerless. Not believing in the ultimate effectiveness of passive resistance, I purchased 2 pistols, one from my purse and one from my garter. And I wrote, "I am determined to sell my life as dearly as possible. I suggest all other Africans do the same. A Winchester rifle should hold a place of honor in every African's home. When the white man knows he runs the risk of biting the dust every time his African victim does, he will have a greater respect for our lives. I am committed to this position, regardless to the consequence. Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. You've been building your kingdom all over this land. Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Satan, we're gonna fight to save our lives. Satan, we're gonna fight to save our lives. You've been lynching our people all over this land. Say down, we're gonna fight to save our lives. Realizing that the lynching of my friends was a part of a much greater phenomenon that threatened blacks throughout this country, I set out to expose the truth. For weeks, I culled newspaper accounts, went to scenes of lynchings, and interviewed eyewitnesses. And I wrote. In the past 2 decades, thousands of black men, women, and children have met with violent deaths at the hands of white mobs, and the rest of America has remained silent. Not even in the last 12 months, when 3 black men were burned alive, has she opened her mouth to protest this barbarism. So great is racial hate and prejudice that in Columbia, South Carolina, under the circumstantial evidence that she murdered a white infant, they lynched poor little 13-year-old Mildred Brown. Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified this child? Many blacks were killed for crimes such as incendiarism, race hate, making threats, or quarreling with whites. The most common charge was the rape of white women. This scurrilous allegation of such lascivious behavior slandered not only black men, but black women as well, for it was said it was our immoral character which was at its root. At no time during the days of slavery were any such charges ever made. Not even during the dark days of rebellion, when the master was off fighting to forge the feathers upon his slave, he left his wife and children with no protection save that of the Negroes themselves. I uncovered a significant number of interracial liaisons. Not only did they exist, but in many cases, white women had taken the initiative. Black men were being murdered for being weak enough to accept white women's favors. In the midst of this investigation, 2 more lynchings occurred, and I wrote, "No one in this section of the country believes the threadbare lie that Negro men rape white women. If Southern gentlemen are not careful, they will overreach themselves and public sentiment will have a reaction." A conclusion might then be met, which could be quite damaging to the moral reputation of their ladies. When this article appeared, the backlash was brutal and immediate. I had traveled to Philadelphia to a religious convention, from there to meet with T. Thomas Fortune of the New York Age. He showed me an article which read, "A group of leading white citizens had looted and burned our newspaper to the ground. My co-owners barely escaping the renting mob, had been run out of town. I was warned that there were agents posted at the train station in watch for me, that if I were to return, I would be hung from the nearest lamppost. Fortune was deeply disturbed by this message. I'm afraid, he said, you will have to stay here. In 1895, I married attorney Ferdinand Barnett, owner of the Conservator, the first Black Chicago news publication to which I became editor. Our first child, Charles, was born just before the founding meeting of the National Association of Colored Women. Election year 1896, I was asked to campaign throughout the country for the Women's State Central Committee, a Republican political party. I agreed on condition arrangements were made for my 6-month-old infant. I honestly think I am the only woman to travel throughout the United States of America making political speeches with a nursing baby. I'm getting it mixed up now. 1896, I was with child again. Ferdinand had been made the Illinois state's attorney. I decided to sell the Conservator, resign my presidency of the Ida B. Wells Club, announcing my retirement from public life to devote more time to my family. The retirement lasted all of 5 months. A brutal lynching in South Carolina compelled me to lobby the president and Congress in Washington, D.C. Again, I took along a nursing baby. I continued my anti-lynching activities. During this time, we were blessed with 2 more children. Oh, I attempted to retire again. My husband supported me completely, but many Black men were resentful and applied pressure that he keep me in my place. My good friend, Miss Susan B. Anthony, leader of the women's rights movement, declared, I know of no person in this section of the country more suited to the job you have at hand. Since your marriage, agitation seems practically to have ceased. You are distracted by the thought that your children are not being looked after to your satisfaction, and that makes for a divided duty. But you are desperately needed. The women's rights movement was divided among racial lines. Many of my Caucasian sisters did not want to mix women's rights with human rights, the rights of Africans. My dear sisters, and so you watched closed eyes as the color of my people, beautiful black velvet, changed to pale white and all the shades in between. And sometimes you wept, and sometimes you sought out my African man, woman, boy, or girl, and sometimes you took out all your frustration on me. Now, he does not speak of how he brutalized you, beat and jailed you for attempting to vote. Everyone knows he did it to me. Will you tell your story too, or will you go on watching as he makes the move to return to the good old days when Africans were held as slaves? Remember what your place was then. Remember. If I had to, I could do anything. I am strong. I am invincible. I am woman. In 1909, I, along with Madam C.J. Walker, W.E.B. Du Bois, and others, founded the Association for the Advancement of Colored People, which later became the NAACP. In 1913, I was appointed the first Black probation officer to Chicago Municipal Court. That same year, the great Underground Railroad conductor, military strategist, women's rights activist, abolitionist Harriet Moses Tubman made her final transition. As my health began to fade, I never lost the strength of my convictions and ran for the Illinois Senate in 1930. Although I lost, it was symbolically important that a Black woman enter a statewide political race. My faith in God and in my people has taught and given me the strength to continue to speak out for the rights of Africans. Oh, they call me rake, mucker, radical, militant. Yes, I investigate, I write, I speak out, I agitate. In the words of my dear friend, Mr. Frederick Augustus Douglass, power concedes nothing without demand. It never has, it never will. Those who profess to want change without agitation are of those who want crops without plowing up the land. Therefore, we must agitate, agitate, agitate until the killing of Black men, Black mothers' sons, is as important as the killing of white men, white mothers' sons. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until the killing of Black men, Black mothers' sons, is as important as the killing of white men, white mother's son. We who believe in freedom cannot rest, cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. That which touches me most is that I've had a chance to work with people, passing on to others that which was passed on to me. The older I get, the better I know. Don't you know what this means? It means come here. That the secret to my going on is when the reins are in the hands of the young who dare to run against the storm. Not needing, just take it off, please. I don't need that, just take this off. To clutch for power, just unfasten and take it off. Not needing light just to shine on me. I just need to be one in the number as we stand against tyranny. I'm a woman who, thank you, speaks in a voice. Oh boy, I'm hung up here. And I must be heard. And at times I can be quite difficult. I bow to no man's word. Oh, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. Too much stuff on me. Cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it's won. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Again, my name is Momma Kemba. I travel the country keeping the spirit of strong Black women in America alive because these are stories that all should know and none should forget. So now you can play a part. Do you have any questions for about the character, the actor, the weather, whatever? Do you have any? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Protocol.
I would just like to mention and bring up that for those that are joining us in person, please raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll approach you with the microphone so that those on Zoom can hear the question. And for those joining us virtually, please use the Q&A function on your screen to submit your question.
High tech. No questions? Are you speechless? Oh, yes, ma'am.
You said people were being arrested for centrist. I don't know what that is.
Citrus?
No, centrist. Well, the different things Black men were being arrested for.
I didn't say citrus. Like, what did I
No,
say?
Centrist. Cinterist.
Black men were killed for crimes such incinerism.
Yes, incinerism. Sorry. Thank you.
Incinerism. That's being fussy, I guess. Incinerism, causing an uprising. Isn't that what that means? Incinerism. Yeah. Incinerism, race hate, stealing hogs. Yes.
We have one question on Zoom that asked, how long have you been portraying Ida B. Wells?
Ida B. Wells, probably 30 years. Okay, y'all. Yes. You got one. Oh.
I was surprised to hear that Frederick had been elected state's attorney in the state of Illinois. I can't quite remember the year, but it seemed remarkably early.
Me, her husband.
Yeah, yeah. And then you
But
ran.
it wasn't Frederick, it was Ferdinand.
Oh, Ferdinand. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I lose all that information once I'm done, you know. So it just goes. Because
then,
I didn't even know the word incinerism anymore. It flies out the window. Yeah, but he was Illinois State's assistant Illinois State's attorney. Did I say assistant?
yeah, if you did, I missed
I
it.
don't know.
But still, it seemed like a very important position. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then your own campaign in 1930, I think you said.
yeah.
Uh,
She ran for the Illinois Senate.
and did you win?
No,
Did you win?
she lost.
Yeah,
Although I lost, it was symbolically important
of course.
that a Black woman run for a statewide political office. Something like that. I don't know. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. This front row is hot.
It's the reason we sat up. There's a reason we sat in the front row.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're
so
wonderful.
inspiring. I wanted to ask you what sources you used, because a lot of this information has been suppressed over the years. What sources did you use to put your stories together?
Well, generally, I choose a woman. I read her autobiography. I read whatever they say about her, and I try to find a children's book about her also. And the process is I read, I study, I write a script, and I learn it. Now, if the script calls for dialect, as in Harriet Tubman, I rewrite the script in dialect, and so that I can do it like that. But that's it. And then I make a costume and I hit the road. Now, Ida B. Wells actually has a fancier costume than this. It's long sleeve velvet with beads like what she would wear, but it is too hot. It is much too hot, and I'm 84 years old. So that means, thank you. That means I'm at the age when you're 2 years old, I don't want to, I don't have to, you can't make me. Pardon? I don't want to, I don't have to, you can't make me. That's the 2-year-old and the 84-year-old. Did we have hands back there?
Hi, yes, hi. I was wondering if you get to go into public schools.
I have been into hundreds of public schools. I was with Urban Gateways for a while in the 80s. I traveled all over Illinois. I moved to Kentucky and I went throughout the Kentucky school system in the area where I was. So I do a lot of schools. I don't like to do schools too much because people don't tell the children to be quiet and listen. So when that happens, I sometimes have to tell them to be quiet and listen.
I think that now is a time that children in schools need you.
Oh, because they're
come.
changing all the history books?
Yes,
They're
absolutely.
rewriting the history of this country.
Now they're just whitewashing it.
They're whitewashing it. I don't know how many of you were here in February when I did Sojourner Truth. Oh, okay, great. Well, then I can tell the others the story of when I was researching Aunt Clara Brown, who lived in Kentucky under slavery. And I was in Kentucky, so they wanted me to write a script for her to perform at the Kentucky State Fair. I couldn't find any information on her. I had never heard of her actually. But when I finally got a little information, I was sitting on the couch reading, and they were talking about this little girl named Liza Jane, who was being sold away from her mother. And they said, this is a white woman wrote this book for the children. She said, she was so frightened, she threw up on her pretty pink pinafore. I had to get up and walk. I had to walk it off. How dare you? Her pretty pink pinafore on an auction block? But that's what you want to teach your children, to say it wasn't that bad. She did have a pretty pink pinafore. So when I was here before, we got any more questions? Ooh.
Do we have a few?
Well, let me take a seat.
We have a few on Zoom that I'll read off to you real quick, and then we'll switch back to those in the audience right here.
No problemo.
So one question is, each time you portray Ida B. Wells, how does it make you feel?
I feel the pain. I see the lynching victims.
Another question is, how long does it take you to put one of your programs together? Also, how many different women's stories do you do?
It takes me about 6 weeks to write a script and learn it and do a costume. two months at the most. And what was the other question? Oh, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Ida B. Wells, Aunt Clara Brown, Mary McLeod Bethune, and Fannie Lou Hamer. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
And the last question we have as of now on Zoom is, how did you get interested in storytelling?
Well, I told a story the last time I was here, and since there's so many people that weren't here, I'll tell the story again. Oh, before I do that, I will tell you that I sit and sew all the time, and I make beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wearable art, and it's on that table over there, and you can take a look at it when we're done. Now, I was born in 1940 in Coffeyville, Mississippi. That outside the town in the sticks, actually, and the town only had 600 people at that time. About 2 years old, I was stricken with infantile paralysis, which is now called polio. So when you see me up here dipping, it's not because I've been nipping. It's because one leg is shorter than the other, and I'm holding on. So I had pneumonia, chicken pox, whooping cough, just a string of childhood diseases. And it took a while for my family to get to the city. When they got to the hospital, administration said, "She's too sick, we can't do nothing for her. Take the little nigger home and let her die there." And I thought that was the biggest blessing I ever had. First of all, I don't have a problem with the word nigger. People say the N word, you give it too much power. When you say the N word, just say nigger. If you say nigger, say nigger. I am so far removed from that that I know anybody who would say that to me is themselves a nigger. So they took me back home, and at home, see, I don't even have Ida's shoes on today. I ain't want to put them damn shoes on. It's too hot. They took me back home, and at home was my grandmother, Old Ray Booker Washington, mother of 15, root doctor, midwife. She delivered the babies in the area. And she would take me up and rub me from head to toe. Doesn't matter what she had on her hands, it's the love that came through her hands. She refused to let me die. Finally, they got enough money to leave Mississippi and go to Indiana. This was under the Roosevelt administration. Roosevelt himself had polio, and it was against the law to take a polio victim over state line. So my mother, they say, wrapped me up as if I was an infant to ride the train. There I went to the Riley Hospital in Indiana somewhere. Is that in Indianapolis? Sometimes I know that and sometimes I don't. But there's where I realized the first racism that I remember, even though I didn't know at the time what it was, because the white nurses would stand in the door and point at my hair and laugh. They thought that because my hair is so strong and powerful, it was funny. So after that treatment, they took me back to Mississippi. This is a long story. And to my grandmother. And she didn't know if I'd ever walk. So she wanted me to be able to use my hands and my voice. So she'd stand me in the floor and sing all day long. And she'd rock from side to side. Of course, there were no black station, so we did the Grand Ole Opry. Your cheating heart will make you weep. You cry and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you. Yeehaw! So she would give me a piece of paper and she'd say, draw this picture of a dog or a bird, and she'd give me a needle and thread, and she'd say, sew this fabric. And so now, at this time in my life and most of my life, I have made my living doing what she taught me. And I am still learning all that she taught me because it just keeps coming. Did I answer the question? The question was what? How did I start doing this? Well, I did it on my grandmother's stage from a baby. And she never saw me on this kind of stage, but she's always here with me. You can give her a hand. Oh, Ray Booker Washington. Okay, 2 more hands.
All right.
4 more hands. 5 more hands. Okay.
I wanted to know if there are any more strong women that you want to portray that you have not done yet.
I thought about it, but these 6 wear me out. And it's so much up in this computer that sometimes it clogs up. So I'm not going to try to do anybody else. Yes.
Picking up on that, I was going to ask the same thing. And when you were talking about the feminist movement being kind of segregated or whatever, I thought about in the 1970s, the most influential feminist I ever met personally from seeing her give a talk was Florence Kennedy. And if you ever went more contemporary than the women that you've done, I would recommend her.
I won't do anybody else. You know what?
Well, but the other thing I wanted to say is when you were singing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah, when I saw her as a young woman in probably 1973 or something like that, she handed out the Battle Hymn of Women, and I glued it. She handed it out on probably, mimeograph sheets or something, and I glued it into a notebook that I still have of favorite quotes and things, and I pulled it out not so long ago, and it's a good. I think it's time to bring back.
So that's the song I wrote.
Politics.
It's called Battle Hymn of the Blacks, but I only did 1 verse. There's a whole 5 verses to that song that I wrote probably 40 years ago. I'll tell you one more. When the white man goes to conquer, takes his Bible and his sword, he says, look here, you heathens, you must learn to trust the Lord. Now you pray to God for blessings while the world's wealth we hoard. False religion goes marching on. Gory, gory, how peculiar. Gory, gory, how peculiar. Gory, gory, how peculiar. False religion goes marching on.
You said that you feel the pain, and I just think a lot of us feel the pain too.
Yeah. It's a painful, painful thing. It's a horrible, horrible thing to imagine people living under that condition. And the thing is, it's not like it was, but it's still pretty bad because they didn't, all the people like George Floyd and all those people that were killed, and it was all over the news, they haven't stopped killing Black men. They have stopped reporting it. So that is still going on. I have a shrine to so many of the Tamar Rice, the babies. It's painful. And so all I know to do at this point in my life is find as much joy as I can and spread as much joy as I can. And that's it. You know what? I forgot. I got a kente robe I usually put on. I forgot I had it. When I go behind the chair, I'm supposed to move this and put the robe on. It's okay. I had too much stuff on. It's okay. Do we have any more questions?
I just had sort of a follow-up with that, and I'm wondering, because you gave so many telling details about what was happening in Memphis that caused you to leave. Have you gone back to Memphis and given these presentations? And did you feel any kind of admission on their part that
Well, do you mean did Ida B. Wells go back to?
Well, I never thought about asking that. Did Ida B. Wells go back, and then have you ever?
I don't know that she went back. You gonna make me put that hot thing? I'll give you. Thank you. Do you have it right? Nope. Here we go. This is the neck. There you go. Now, thank you. There was a time 30 years ago when I would pick this robe up and I'd throw it across my shoulder. No more. Those days are gone, but I'm still here running. Yes. So I don't know if she ever went back. I know that a few years ago, I'm not sure how many years, if it was 2 or 10 years ago, but they did some kind of big thing for her in Memphis. It's, yeah, really. It's like, who cares? Who cares? You know, last time I was here, a lady asked me what did I think about the fact that my picture would be on a $10 bill in 6 years. I thought that was an insult because, not the lady, but, you know, first of all, why would you say you're going to do something in 6 years and it's a nothing thing that you're talking about doing and you're talking about waiting 6 years to do it? It's crazy. Who wants a picture on a $10 bill for what? In a minute, that $10 bill ain't gonna be worth nothing anyway. Not a dime. I see her hand back there. She's drowning.
I I just had a question too. Thank you, first of all. And you talked about going to children's books to get some information. Is there a children's book about Ida B. Wells? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
There is.
That was 30 years ago, I think so. I know there was one for Harriet Tubman for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for Harriet Tubman, because you know that's the one that they talk about all the time. They do not talk about the other women, but I'm not sure. Uh, the books that I used are long gone, but I remember. I have a thing of giving my books away so somebody else can use them. I don't hoard them. And I don't read so well anymore. My sight is not as good as it used to be. In fact, I lost the sight in my right eye twice. In the past 2 years, I've lost the sight in my right eye twice, and it came back. I mean,
I
totally black, totally black. Wake up and it's black. That's scary. That's real scary.
I saw your niece at a Black genealogy group, but who spoke about um, Ida B. Wells. I'm wondering if any of your siblings, beside this niece, are carrying on your work.
What niece is that?
I don't know.
You saw my niece?
Yes, I believe it was your niece at a genealogy.
Oh, Ida B. Wells' niece. Oh,
Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells'
I forget
niece.
who I am. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, what about your siblings?
I have no idea. I have tried to contact, I think her niece is Michelle Duster.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to contact her. I met her.
But none of your siblings have done this. Have followed through with the kind of work that Ida B. Wells did. Not you.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone did that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, she was one of a kind. I love her. These are the women I like to do, the fighters.
I was just wondering if you could let us know if her children, if Ida B. Wells' children carried on anything that she did, or Ferdinand. No, not the cousin, but her children that you had mentioned.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's a good thing for you to research.
Okay, did we have any more questions in the audience here? Just one there. Come around this way.
Thank you for the music. Thank you for singing and bringing the story to life through the very meaningful music. Thank you that you bring your joy and your fierceness and your ability to inspire to all of us that need to capture that within ourselves in this current day politically. We do.
So much.
Thank you.
I I am amazed myself. I am amazed. I don't know what happens. Oh, it's a spirit. I know what happens. All those women live in my house. And are you finna take another question, or am I gonna? Oh, okay.
I just Googled Ida B. Wells. Her family still lives in Chicago on South King Drive. So
Okay.
she's still in Chicago.
Yeah, I
Her
did.
family is.
I saw a sister and a brother. I met them. Yeah.
We do have one more question on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay, we have one more question on Zoom, and it is, have you toured in the South, and what sort of response did you get, if so?
I shouldn't have did that. I forgot. I'm sorry. I have been throughout Kentucky. I've been throughout Georgia. The I met a Dr. Joseph Silver about 30 years ago. I was in Kentucky, and he came to speak, and he was over the Georgia college system or something like that. And I snuck up to him and gave him my card, and I said, I want to come to Georgia. And he had me all throughout Georgia. I went all throughout Georgia, and I have been to other states, but not a lot of southern states. Not a lot of southern states. So we have another Zoom question.
That was the question. There is one more, and I can answer this. It's, do you have any of your programs on YouTube to view? We are recording this, and we have a recording of her last performance as when she portrayed Sojourner Truth on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is the Levy Senior Center Foundation. And this current one will be uploaded in a few days.
And okay. I don't know how my mother walked her troubles out. I don't know how my father stood his ground. I don't know how my people survived slavery. I do remember, that's why I believe. I don't know why the river overflows their banks, and I don't know why the snow falls and covers the ground. I don't know why the hurricane streaks through the land every now and then. Standing in the rainstorm, I believe. I don't know why the angels woke me up this morning, children. I don't know why the blood's still flowing through my veins. I don't know why I rate to love another day. Whoa, I am here still running. I believe my God speaks to me in the morning dew. The power of the universe knows my name. Gave me a song to sing and send me on my way. I raise my voice for justice. I believe. Okay, now don't forget to come over here and look at my table. Thank you so much.
And thank you again for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the program. Please continue supporting the Levy Senior Center Foundation with a donation today.
Thank you.
Your generous donations help us to continue to create opportunities to serve older adults in our community.